Violent confrontations involving England football fans have once again been taking place on the streets of Marseille, overshadowing the start of the European Championships. The series of short-lived clashes between fans and French riot police happened for the second night in succession on the eve of England's opening game. Police fired tear gas to try to contain the trouble.
Not a ball has been kicked, and yet in Marseille's central square the fighting begins. English and Russian fans brawling in the street. As stun grenades exploded, there was further trouble at the British bar, which acts as the de facto headquarters for fans. With bottles raining down, the tear gas guns were drawn and the police moved in. At least 7 people have now been arrested and are being held by police. Thousands of England fans have travelled here to France, the majority wanting a drink, a song and some football. And yet the minority seek more than that, and the singing is replaced by chanting as the chairs and bottles fly. As the tear gas plumes fill the air, English pride and most of the terrace is in tatters. Many fans played no part in this violence, but questioned the reaction of the French authorities.
Basically just standing in the bar, and next thing you know, French police start charging at us and throwing tear gas at us. So what are you meant to do? Can't stand in front of it, can you?
We're all just singing songs, nothing malicious or anything like that. And all of a sudden, I know it, go in the toilet, come back out, and it's all like a war zone, you know.
This is the second night of violence. Today, British police told how they were working with the French and even blocking some people from leaving the UK.
We've turned back a number of people who we believe may cause problems out here, and those are people who aren't subject of banning orders, but intelligence leads us to believe that it wouldn't be a good idea for them to be out here.
From the looks of the last 24 hours, some did get through. All this, and we haven't even played the first England game yet. Emma Murphy, News at 10, Marseille.
Tear gas has been fired at England football fans gathered in France for the European Championship after they threw bottles at police in Marseille. The trouble flared as the opening ceremony and first game of the competition began, but the England team has to wait until tonight to get its big chance on the pitch. Our sports correspondent Paul Kelso is in Marseille and sent this report.
18 years ago, England fans fought running battles with locals. A reprise as police struggled to contain clashes between Russian supporters, the English and locals. Supporters had been drinking noisily, but largely without incident, in 2 pubs in the old port all day. That changed when bottles were thrown, there were clashes with Russian supporters, and the police moved in with tear gas. A standoff followed. This woman with a tricolour appeared to calm things. Then a bottle is thrown, and she retaliates. Police move in to make arrests.
A large group of England fans after that last altercation retreated to this bar, which had not been closed. There's been singing and drinking as there have been through the day, but the police have had enough. This line of riot police has moved in. As soon as they moved, a hail of bottles started coming down on them. These are scenes we may well see long into the night.
Moments later, this.
There's no trouble until you get here.
When you come here,
no trouble
you cause all
until
the
you get
trouble.
Here.
These fans were speaking for many who believe police tactics made this worse. Then skirmishes with locals to add to the sense of chaos. Earlier in the day, the British police commander said he was happy with the security plan.
We've had meetings with the French police and the French authorities this morning. There certainly is a very large policing operation that's in place today and through this evening. We've briefed them about how English supporters behave. We're also work very closely with the Russians, so the Russians were present at the meeting and explained how the Russian supporters will behave. And more importantly for me is that the local police are aware of how the local community will behave.
In Paris, the mood was as uplifting as Marseille was depressing.